Did you know on October 27th, 1988, an obsessed Friday the 13th fan broke into a teenage girl's house and he brutally murdered her? This was an obsessed man that committed this vicious act because of his obsession with horror movies and the notorious Jason Voorhees, the main antagonist from the Friday the 13th movies. And this actually happened in a small town of Greenfield, Massachusetts. Also, this is my very first time doing something like this. I haven't done this before, tell true crime stories, and this is episode 1. So here is the full story of the Friday the 13th copycat killer. And it is 7 days before Halloween, so everybody's getting into the Halloween spirit. You see houses with Halloween decorations, ghosts, goblins, witches, ghosts hung up, jack-o'-lanterns carved, and everybody was getting into the Halloween spirit back in 1988. But unfortunately, all that would change. A man named Mark Branch had this obsession with slasher movies. He collected everything such as Halloween, Psycho, Night of the Living Dead, anything you could think of. The one genre that was his bread and butter was the Friday the 13th franchise. He would collect damn near everything under the sun, such as figures, posters, movies, props, novelty props, anything you can think of. He would use part of his collection to go out and kill someone. Branch would wear similar clothing to the one Jason Voorhees would wear in the movies, such as the button-up shirt, blue jeans, hiking boots, knife in hand, and the one item to complete Branch's look is that he adapt a white hockey mask similar to the one Jason would wear in the Friday the 13th franchise. And his first target was Sharon Gregory. Gregory was a psychology at a Greenfield Community College, and she wrote a paper about Branch's obsession with horror films with the slasher genre. Of course, when Branch found out about it, that she was writing articles about his obsession, he was not happy about it. That's why he decided to target her, and he pretty much knew where she lived. While she was home alone, a stranger broke into her house wearing Jason's hockey mask, and he chased her up the stairs. And he stabbed her repeatedly in the back, abdomen, and the head. And then he would proceed to slit her throat. Mark would then leave the crime scene. Sharon's twin sister, Cheryl, returned home not long after, and she discovered her sister's body in the bathtub with multiple stab wounds. She would then contact the police, and she would pretty much tell them who she thought committed this crime. She would point out a man by the name of Mark Branch. He worked at a local grocery store, and he had this huge obsession with slasher films. But he mostly gravitated to the Friday the 13th franchise. He would often at times go to the video store renting gory movies, and he even stated, quote, "The gorier, the better." Police would then search Branch's apartment, and they would find 64 true crime books, 75 slasher films, 3 knives, a machete, and multiple hockey masks. The police put out a search for Branch's absence because they didn't know if he was hiding or he might pop up somewhere, or was he just messing with the police to have them off guard. After the murder of Sharon Gregory, police had no choice but to cancel Halloween, and all of the Halloween activities were canceled, such as movie theaters and Halloween festivities. And there's pretty much this manhunt because the town went into fear, thinking that Branch might return to kill again. Police would then find Mark's abandoned car in Buckland Woods, the interior covered in bloodstains. And then they will also find this old slaughterhouse, and they make a shocking discovery. They would find disturbing art graffiti in the abandoned slaughterhouse. The first one on the wall says Jason Lives. That quote comes from the movie Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. And the second one they found is a spray painted stick figure of two people, one of which running up the stairs and the other one right behind, wielding a knife and wearing a hockey mask. It's the exact same way Sharon Gregory was murdered. So Branch has obviously been there, been graffitiing, he's been hiding out and avoiding the cops. He was just completely out in the open. He has not been captured yet. But a month later, in November 29th, 1988, Branch has finally been found. A local hunter by the name of Kevin Purrington was walking through the woods with his dog by its side until he stopped because he heard a strange noise. He heard branches breaking above him, and he looked up and he discovered Mark Branch's dead body hanging from a tree. He was tied by a belt and his combat boot shoelaces. So that's why they couldn't find Branch. He had took his life after he committed that murder. It could be days later, but he was up there for a month from October 26th to November 29th. We will never know why he committed this violent act against an innocent person, or anybody in that matter. People want to think maybe he just did it because he had serious issues, he had problems. But everybody else, much like me, thinks he had this huge obsession with Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees. One day, he decided to adapt a similar hockey mask to what Jason wore and go kill someone for no apparent reason. So that is the true story of the Friday the 13th copycat killer in October 24th, 1988. What are other stories you're interested in hearing? Do you want something else to be inspired, the horror genre, or do you want something that the criminals that had the inspiration from that type of movie? Please hit that like, comment, subscribe button, and remember, this is episode 1 of True Crime, and I'm going to be doing more of these. And I will see you guys in the next video, and thank you guys for watching.